If laughter could be stitched together from lightning and pure genius, it would look a lot like Young Frankenstein. For anyone who grew up watching Gene Wilder's wild hair glow under that mad scientist's lamp, this movie isn't just a memory, it's a feeling. And today we're diving into 20 behind-the-scenes secrets even lifelong fans don't know, including the fight that almost shut down the movie, the scenes Mel Brooks cried cutting out, and the hidden role Brooks played that no one ever sees. Let's crank up the voltage and take it from the top. Number 1. It was a collaboration between star and director. Young Frankenstein wasn't just a Mel Brooks film. It was a Mel Brooks and Gene Wilder experiment. Wilder pitched the idea on the set of Blazing Saddles, describing a mad scientist comedy inspired by the old Universal monster films. Brooks didn't laugh it off. He leaned in and said, "Let's make it. Two comedy legends, one bizarre vision." But before Wilder agreed to star, he had one big condition. Number 2. Wilder had a demand before signing on. Wilder said, "I'll do it, but only if we shoot it in black and white." At the time, studios were chasing color like it was oxygen. Asking for black and white was practically career suicide. But Wilder wanted authenticity. He wanted the movie to feel like it had crawled straight out of the 1930s. Brooks agreed, and immediately knew the studios would hate it. And Wilder still wasn't finished making requests. Number 3. Wilder already knew who should play the monster. Before the script was even done, Wilder had one actor in mind, Peter Boyle. Boyle had a reputation for intense, brooding roles, the exact opposite of what you'd expect for a tap-dancing monster. But Wilder saw something gentle beneath that stare, and Boyle wasn't the only actor stepping outside his typecast. One major Hollywood icon joined the film for an unexpected reason. Number 4. Gene Hackman wanted a break, literally. Gene Hackman, fresh off The French Connection, was tired of playing tough guys. He called Wilder and said essentially, "Give me anything." He ended up playing the lonely blind man who accidentally scalds the monster with hot soup, a scene where Hackman reportedly improvised much of his dialogue, and even cracked himself up on camera. But while improvisation added flavor, one behind-the-scenes decision completely reshaped the movie's rhythm. Number 5. Two characters were completely flipped. In early drafts, the scientist was supposed to be calm and articulate, while the monster was more frantic. Wilder reversed it. The monster became simple, childlike, and sympathetic. Dr. Frankenstein became the hysterical one. That single choice created the film's unique comedic energy. Chaos stitched together with heart, but harmony didn't last long behind the scenes. Number 6. Brooks and Wilder had a serious blow-up. Midway through filming, tensions erupted. Wilder wanted certain emotional beats to play quietly. Brooks, the king of loud, absurd comedy, wanted bigger, wilder laughs. They argued, voices rose, Wilder stormed off set, and the next day, they were laughing together again, but the partnership would soon face a challenge even they couldn't joke through. Number 7. Columbia Pictures rejected the film over one thing. Columbia originally planned to release the movie until they found out Brooks and Wilder refused to abandon black and white. Executives panicked. It won't sell. Brooks refused to compromise, so he took the project to 20th Century Fox, who said yes. But that agreement wasn't as simple as it looked. Number 8. Brooks believed the studio lowballed him. Brooks later said he suspected Fox lost part of his budget in accounting. He laughed about it years later, but you could tell it stung. Ironically, the smaller budget may have been the blessing they never expected, when it forced resourcefulness that made the film feel authentically old school. And that timelessness would even creep into the music, just not the way you'd imagine. Number 9. The movie didn't have an original song, but one found it anyway. Young Frankenstein didn't have an official theme song, but audiences forever linked it to Puttin on the Ritz. Here's the twist. The song was written in 1929, decades earlier. Wilder and Boyle's unforgettable tap dance stitched it into pop culture forever, and the story didn't stop on film. Number 10. The film eventually became a Broadway musical. In 2007, Mel Brooks turned Young Frankenstein into a full Broadway production. It had elaborate sets, raunchy humor, and yes, a live tap dancing monster. It didn't reach the cult status of the producers, but it proved that audiences still loved this strange little masterpiece. By the way, if you think the musical was the film's last big honor, just wait for Fact 20. It changes how you watch the movie. But first, let's go to the night when this black and white parody stood alongside Hollywood giants. Number 11, it was nominated for 2 Oscars. Despite being absurd, rebellious, and defiantly old-fashioned, the film earned nominations for Best Adapted Screenplay and Best Sound. It won neither, but the recognition mattered. Hollywood finally embraced its weirdness, and no one celebrated that more than Gene Wilder. Number 12, Wilder called it his favorite film of all time. Wilder loved Willy Wonka, sure, but Young Frankenstein was personal. It was his idea, his script, his performance, his soul. Every tremble, every scream, every moment of tenderness came straight from him. And while the heart of the film beat strong, some of its strangest parts were painfully real. Number 13, Marty Feldman's eye condition wasn't makeup. Your Igor was unforgettable because of his bulging eyes, but this wasn't prosthetics. Feldman had Graves' disease as a child, and a surgery went wrong, leaving his eyes permanently displaced. Instead of hiding it, he used it and created one of comedy's most iconic faces. Another major decision, however, was about keeping the illusion intact. Number 14, Wilder convinced Brooks not to do his usual cameo. Mel Brooks appears in almost all his films, except this one. Wilder begged him not to show up. He believed Brooks's familiar face might break the spell of their old Hollywood atmosphere. Brooks reluctantly agreed, but he still found a sneaky way to be in the movie. Before we get to that, let's jump to a truly bizarre historical reference. Number 15, Hans Delbrück was a real person. The brain labeled Hans Delbrück wasn't random. He was a real 19th century historian who wrote about warfare, a deep-cut joke hidden inside a joke. A perfect touch for a film with layers of parody. But inspiration didn't always come from textbooks. Number 16, Teri Garr based her voice on Cher's hairdresser. Teri Garr modeled her accent after Cher's real-life hairdresser, a mix of authenticity, absurdity, and charm. Her famous line, "He's going to be very popular," became one of the movie's most quoted moments. Other actors, meanwhile, needed a very different kind of preparation. Number 17, Peter Boyle's crotch pad saved the soup scene. During the blind man sequence, Hackman actually spilled boiling soup on Boyle. To avoid burns, Boyle wore a padded protector for the rest of the scene. The chaos was accidental, the comedy was perfect, and the film's legacy didn't stop at laughs. Number 18, inducted into the National Film Registry. In 2003, Young Frankenstein was added to the Library of Congress's National Film Registry as culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant. It was official. Comedy can matter just as much as drama, but the version we know today, it's only a fraction of what was originally filmed. Number 19, nearly half the original movie was cut. The first cut ran almost 2.5 hours. Brooks and Wilder spent weeks trimming it down to a sharp laugh every minute rhythm. Entire scenes, even brilliant ones, were sacrificed. Brooks later admitted he cried cutting them out, but said, "You can't argue with the laugh." And that brings us to the final reveal. The one that changes the way you hear the movie forever. Number 20, Mel Brooks is everywhere, just not on screen. Remember when Brooks promised not to cameo? He kept his face off camera, but his voice is all over the film. He voiced the wolf howls, the horses whinnies, several ghostly castle effects Brooks may not be seen, but he's absolutely heard. 51 years later, when thunder cracks and that lonely castle appears on screen, something in us still smiles, because Young Frankenstein proves that art, like the monster himself, never really dies. It just finds new ways to live. That's it for our 20 weird facts about Young Frankenstein. If you love these behind-the-scenes secrets, hit subscribe and ring the bell, because next, we're diving into the hidden stories of another classic comedy you thought you knew inside out.